I'm Luke Walks, thanks for watching. In today's video we're going to be exploring the Bangrak area in Bangkok, Thailand. In particular looking at some important historical buildings that are related to the colonial period. So the early European settlers when Bangkok first became the capital, when the capital shifted from Ayutthaya down to Bangkok. So before I do that, I'm going to want to go and check out a Aussie cafe I just read about online. It's called the Hidden Milk Bar. And the Hidden Milk Bar serves all sorts of Aussie treats. It was created by a Thai who was living in Melbourne, and so he created this cafe which reflected his childhood when he was growing up in Melbourne. So I'm feeling a little bit homesick. I haven't been back to Australia for about 2 years, so I'm going to go to the Milk Bar and check that out. I've come to Bangrak area today because I read about this place online. It's called the Hidden Milk Bar, and when I read about it, it talked about having some Australian milkshakes and treats, so I wanted to come and check it out. So here it is. So I'm here at the Hidden Milk Bar. I've just had myself a Passiona. So growing up, I remember the Passiona came in a can, but they make their own version, which was really delicious and brought back a lot of memories. They also had lemon, lime and bitters. They had lamingtons. They had iced Vovo. So if you're an Aussie and you want to have a little trip down memory lane, but not just trip down memory lane, or if you're homesick, come to the Milk Bar. Now, I'm feeling kind of nostalgic after having that little snack, and I'm in the Bangrak area, in the Khlong Krung area, and I've noticed a lot of old buildings. So today, in my adventure, I'm going to actually explore a lot of these older buildings, in particular Colonial Bangkok. So the period of time just after when Ayutthaya, the fall of Ayutthaya, and the capital was shifted to Bangkok. And the Europeans that settled in this area, that's what I want to explore a bit more. I don't know too much about it, so I'm going to explore that today. So I'm at the corner here, which is Khlong Phadung Road, Khlong Phadung 32, and I've just stumbled upon a noisy place. I've just stumbled upon the photo club and a place called Hidden Milk Bar. Now, just on the other side of the road, when I'm coming from Australia, if I ever think about a milk bar, that was the kind of shop it would be. It was like a small convenience store where you could buy your milkshakes, but also get some like just small groceries. It wasn't a grocery store, it was just your corner shop. But also you could probably get your fish and chips there sometimes as well, or play some pinball machines. But what eventually happened, these stores went from a milk bar, started to becoming more like a convenience store, and just as they were getting bigger and bigger, that's when the grocery stores arrived in Australia. So then the corner shops, the milk bars, died out pretty quickly when that happened, and the big grocery stores kind of took over. Coincidentally, now these milk bar shops, particularly in places like Melbourne and Sydney, are being converted into really cool cafes or even pubs or restaurants. So it's nice, this kind of old building being converted and being still kept kind of intact. The architecture is still kept intact, but it's housing a modern cafe. So that's the Milk Bar. I'm now going to I want to go up towards the Portuguese Embassy and also the Holy Church of the Rosary as well. So I think they've got some those two places are quite significant in the history of the colonial period here in Bangkok. So I'm going to head down Sampangtawong Road now, and I'm going to head to the Holy Rosary Church. Holy Rosary was the first church that was established here in Bangkok, in the Bangrak area. Apparently it's got some beautiful stained glass windows, and it was started by the Portuguese, so it's a Catholic church. So I'm going to head there now. As I wander around Bangkok and discover Bangkok, one thing I always notice, how cool the banks are. If you ever get a chance, just keep your eye peeled for some of the old banks. The architecture is so unique and so interesting. Here's an example over my shoulder here. Speaking of interesting architecture, I love that skinny building there, and then that building up there is called the Tower, State Tower, and it was made famous by the movie Hangover. There was a scene at the rooftop bar, and very distinctive building, that one there, and I'll talk to you more about that building and a few other buildings in a future video. So this video today is to explore the colonial period and areas and sites of Bangkok. I've also got one kind of burning question that I'm hoping I'm going to try and learn today as I wander around, is how was it that Thailand was never actually colonized? Because all the neighboring countries, Cambodia, Vietnam, even to the south, Indonesia, they were all colonized by the French, the British and the Dutch. However, for some strange reason, and hopefully I can discover this, why was Thailand never colonized? It was this Khlong here that was built by King Rama IV, and the reason it was built was to extend the area of his kingdom, which was the royal grounds, the Lᴜڌᴇ Kasem area. So there was an existing canal which designated where the royal palace area was, and this new canal was basically paralleled that existing canal, but was pushed out about 1.5 kilometers outside. So thus the area of the royal grounds was enlarged. Now what that had an effect on it was the communities living in that area were then pushed out, and as this area here and this Bangrak area, which the southern side of the Lᴜධᴇ Kasem area was where a lot of Chinese, Vietnamese, Burmese and the European communities started to gather and build communities. And so there's some important sites that were kind of had key significance into growing these communities, and we're going to have a look at a few of those today. So one such area was the Portuguese and the Holy Rosary Church. So we're going to go and have a look at that now. So this community has this canal, this Bangrak area, and then the early colonial period, and the flourishing of this community here in this Bangrak area and Chinatown area as well really has this canal to thank.